we've got to do a little dirt work around the high tunnel. Whenever I say dirt work, I don't necessarily mean moving dirt around. We're gonna be moving some mulch around, but we're not gonna be moving the soil. But let me show you why we've got to do some work. We've had a lot of rain here the last few days. It's kind of sunny now, which is nice. I've got a load of clothes on the line, and I've got another one that's in the washer I'm gonna put on the line here in just a second. I think it was the man who did the dirt work for our high tunnel, scraped a little bit of the soil off just west of the high tunnel. This is west of the high tunnel. Papa drives up here to drop off some fertilizer and then get in the high tunnel. He comes on his ATV. It's all mucky and muddy, and I have to be wearing my boots if I want to do any work. Papa decided he wanted to get some of these wood chips and put around it. And let me show you on the inside too, because it's a little bit higher on the south side of the high tunnel than it is in the high tunnel and on the north side of the high tunnel, which means whenever it rains, the water comes down just a little bit and comes in the high tunnel. I don't know if Papa has plans to do any work right there, but it's made a huge mucky mess right here in the high tunnel. And we're really new to this, so we're trying to figure it out still. Look at those rich wood chips. They've decomposed. They've been there over a year, so they've decomposed, and they're gonna make really great additions. Oh, it's mucky in here. You see how wet and mucky it is down here? The water is just standing. That's because all the water has come this way. I've not irrigated in probably a week, but there's not a whole lot that needs any irrigation. All of it's on the very north side where it's getting water from the rain, or over here. And let me show you. Ooh, it's so mucky. So you can see a difference. This is what the rain has done. So the rain is supposed to come off of the high tunnel and into these gutters, and then it goes east. And it's gonna go into our water catchment. We're actually gonna have to do something about water catchment on both sides. We'll tell you about that in another bit. But you can still see a little water standing right over there from all the rain. And you can see water over here. You see? So we've got to do something about all of this water when we have heavy rains like this. When we don't have heavy rains, it's not a big deal at all. But when we have heavy rains, we're gonna have to divert it just a bit. I try not to overly water it because it makes it mucky in here like this until it gets packed down. The kids were in here earlier. See what they did? And down here as well. Look at all this. I'll have to chastise them about that. I wish you could feel how mucky this is. I'm just sinking down in it as I walk. Papa's gonna bring a little bit of this mulch up here, but look how great looking it is. How dark it is and rich. I really don't even want to use it for this, to be honest with you, but Papa is, and that's fine. Do you see right over here where Papa has driven on his ATV and it just mires down? So we gotta do something. So we never intended to keep our fertilizer injector over here where we have it now. It was just a temporary thing to see how it works, give it a try. We like the idea of it. I haven't used it here recently because we've had so much rain, and pretty much everywhere that we've got stuff planted in here, as I've already told you, pretty much everywhere we've got stuff planted in here, we are getting some seepage from outside from all the rain that we've gotten. Papa wants to move this fertilizer injector into the high tunnel, and I think that's a good idea.
Well, right now I'm mounting a bracket to hang it on. Main reason not to to have it in here, not to have it out there, is because one of these days, before much longer, it's going to get cold and freeze, and maybe it'll be warm enough in here it won't freeze.
We're gonna have to redo our water. If we don't have the water catchment set up by this winter, we're gonna have to make sure by this winter to have the water from our well over here, because we've got to water inside here. That's one of the things with high tunnels. You have to irrigate. You can't just leave it for Mother Nature to irrigate. You've got to irrigate it yourself, because the high tunnel, the plastic is over, and then in the wintertime, these sides are going to be rolled down, so there's not going to be any rain coming in at all. I'm going to go in and check on the kids. I had to go do a couple other things. Papa got this done.
I mounted this piece of plyboard to have to mount other things that we need to, and
oh, it's mucky in here.
And to put some hooks on it and to hang tools and stuff on. I mounted the fertilizer injector over here at this corner, and I piped it in I cut the manifold off, and all of it's inside now. I run the hose underneath the edge so that, well, it's temporary. We're going to have something permanent. I don't know what it'll be. I moved the pressure regulator over here, and it's ready to hook up and test.
We need a washer before we do that, but we don't really need to put any water in here, if I'm honest. So I think we need to let it dry out for a couple of days before we do anything. What do you think?
Probably a good idea.
It's pretty mucky.
I don't think it's supposed to rain anymore for 3 or 4 days.
Yeah, maybe it'll dry out in here.
But it's all piped in, and that part of it's permanent.
If you like things like this, like and subscribe, hit that notification bell, select all so you never miss a notification. Thanks. So since so much water has been getting in here like this, Papa said, and I agree with him, that we need to have a little trench over here on the south side of our high tunnel. There's a little gap on parts of this area here. So what I'm doing is I'm digging just a small little trench so the water will come in here, and I'm going to do it just a little bit every day. So yesterday I did about 5 sections over here, the first 5 or 6 uprights, and I'm going to do at least 2 or 3 every single day. So that way, within a week or so, if I do 2 or 3 every day, then it'll be done pretty fast. I don't have a trencher. I don't need to make a trench big enough with the tractor. And even if I did do that, I don't want to mess up our cover crops over here. So they're doing pretty well right here. If you look the other way, they're doing pretty well that direction as well. Just a couple of these uprights every single day. I'm just digging and I'm throwing it over here to the side here. And then that should make enough of a ditch here for the water whenever it comes down in a hurry like it does, for it to go all the way down here, all the way east to the end, and then around it. So it's pretty simple. It's not really a big deal. Just digging a little bit and throwing it over here. So it's really slow, tedious work, but if I do a little bit at a time, then I'll be able to get all the way to the end. My goal here again is to get where the water doesn't seep in like it has been. You saw how all that water was in there. Makes a huge mess, makes it really mucky in there. But not everything on the farm and the homestead is really exciting, but this is stuff that needs to get done, and it's really slow, but we are really doing it. If you could have saw this spot about 3.5, 4 years ago when we first got here, I've been saying 3 years, but it just occurred to me watching one of my videos the other day. It's now been closer to 4 years. There wasn't an electric service here, there wasn't a well here, there wasn't a septic tank here. And Papa's little place was up there, but it wasn't livable yet. Nobody was living over here. Nobody lived over here for 30 years before that. Nan and Papa had lived over here for just a couple of months right after they got married in the 1970s. But other than that, no one has lived over here. I camped back here where our cow pasture is now, but it's a really slow process because we're trying to do all of this at once. You saw that we're remodeling our house. I've got 4 children. I've got a family to take care of, and we're trying to do all these things at the same time. So all that stuff is a lot. We're just doing a little bit at a time, and they say that slow and steady wins the race. So that's what we're doing here, slow and steady, and we're glad you're along this journey with us. Kids are over here in the pond. They're enjoying the pond. It looks like they said it's gotten a bit deeper. Is it deep?
Yes, I can't touch the bottom. So now let's move to
They've been playing in the high tunnel and the mud in there. This was one of the main reasons we got the pond, for them to enjoy it in this way. Very, very muddy, but maybe some of that stuff will settle out of it by next spring. Even if it doesn't, I guess you can still swim in muddy water, can't you? They're doing it.